you are set up your profile in Vector Advantage and do the first 15-minute learners. We'll give that to you by tomorrow sometime. You can knock it out before you go to bed tonight. And then by tomorrow sometime, check back. The first assignment, which will take about 45 minutes or so, is not, you have all the way till Olean to get that done. So literally in about 10 days, 2 weeks worth of time, you're going to, or a week and a half, I should say, week and a half worth of time, you have, 35, 45 minutes complete. And then there's going to be one more hour or so of stuff, and that's not due till October 14th. So very little work. We're talking about a half hour a week, if that, sometimes, to complete these assignments. Okay. All right. So awesome. Now we are going to, oh yeah, thank you, Case. Thank you, Case. Jeff Fry says thank you too, by the way. Okay, so he was, anyways, so we have some great Olean updates. We have a new person invited. So now that's three. We have Caleb, and we have Drew, and we have Wes from. Let me just double check that. Yeah, so far from our office, we have several people from Brian's office that are going, which is kind of cool. We have Casey and Apollo, I believe, from Buffalo. We have several people from Olean or from Erie going to Olean. It's going to be absolute. We're staying at what's called the Ellicottville Holiday Valley. It's an unbelievable resort. It's a beautiful resort. A lot of the top executives in Cutco actually ski there and go there. It's a beautiful place, and it's going to be the absolute perfect time of the year. You're going to see all the fall foliage. It's nestled in the Allegheny foothills, which is just surrounded by trees. Just the time that are going to start to change colors here. And it's going to be truly phenomenal. Thursday night, you can arrive anytime after 8 p.m. Okay, after 8 p.m. And so there's going to be 8 p.m. is great. 8 p.m. is when all the pizza boxes are served. So you want hot pizza, that's all included there. And then it's 2 nights. The first night, again, it's just chill. You can get there 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Nothing going on Thursday except pizza party. In the morning, buses will take you to the factory, and there's going to be obviously breakfast first provided, and then there's going to be a factory tour, and then there's going to be some awesome talks, and then one of my favorite things is dinner at the old library restaurant. You're going to meet. He's a busy guy. He can't always make these. Last year he wasn't there. He was moving his daughter in for or something to do with his daughter's college. I can't remember if it was a game or something, but he's going to be there. The owner and CEO of Cutco Cutlery Corporation is going to be there, as well as the vice president. Okay, president, CEO, and owner, Jim Stitt, who owns everything. So Vector and Cutco owns the entire corporation, is going to be there. And then you're going to have the vice president, Steve Porter, going to be there. And then Jeff Fry, of course, our region manager. So the top 3 executives, owners of the company, all 3 will be there, which is pretty phenomenal. So that's going to be. So we're going to have dinner with them, and we're going to have even a question and answer session with the owner. Extremely rare that $250 million a year company, you even A, get to see the owner, even know who he is, or even see him, and B, he has dinner with us and does like an open question and answer session. I mean, you just don't see that in other companies. So, so that is, that's gonna be the best dinner of the year. And then we have a awesome session on Saturday, and that's going to be public speaking, Jeff Fry. And that's going to be a few other great talks as well. So talk to your manager about Olean, about getting there. And if you haven't already been signed up for that. Okay, cool. All right, guys, we are going to pick up where we left off last Monday, and that is the interview. I have the document here, which I'm going to drop into the WhatsApp. I want to make sure everyone's in the WhatsApp first before I can always drop it again and again in there, but I don't want to drop it in there too many times. But as you get added, we'll of course be able to get all those links. So I'll add that in today, and that is the document of Apex interview top shows version 5.0. This is the most recent version 5.0. And all of this is going to be supplemented by the learning path on the Vector Advantage. So you're going to see a talk that was given to the entire company, and it happens to be from me, which is cool. That is going to be broken up into little courses, little 5 to 7 minute video courses. And that's going to be your learning path for the month. Okay. So we're going to complete this entire project by, if you want to write this down, October 16th. Okay. So October 16th, this will be done. And all of you should be able to be running interviews, and many of you will be running interviews before that. But, especially if you get through the course material quicker. Okay. So all this stuff will be wrapped up, probably actually the TLA before. So call it October 9th. Okay. So October 9th is when it'll be wrapped up. So technically that starting that week, October 10th, all of you should be able to be running interviews. Okay. Which is pretty cool. So this is called how to turn an info session into a top recruiting class with Apex. There are some divisions that are doing in-person interviews. We're going to hear that as at SLC. We have a lot of offices, a lot of divisions are going to be virtual stuff. But in Empire, we want to have the ability with so spread out territory to have people to do an interview without having to drive an hour, into the office. So this is something that we're going to keep on in our division, and how to run an interview with Apex. Okay. Now I was talking with Nick Mastermark earlier, and he says, well, if we have a couple really sharp candidates who are really close, we can always still do, an interview, a one-on-one, like just like a top PR or something, or a top social media recruit. Obviously that's always an option to meet with someone in person anytime. But for the vast majority of our interviews, we're using this Apex program, and it's the same one that I believe all of you were interviewed on. Okay. So you guys are all familiar with it. As we said last week, quick review. The objective is to get people to show to training with the right state of mind and clear expectations of the positions. Remember, we talked about that. We said we want people coming into training knowing what's expected to them. We want them to come into training knowing that they start with people that they know, that yes, there's a base pay rate of $30 per presentation, but with commission, they can earn more. We want people coming in with getting excited of going off to a fast start. Now, they don't know what fast start is yet. They don't know what the prizes are or anything like that. But I tell them in my post to say, hey, we want you to have a fast start, which is your first paycheck. We want it to be $300, $400, $500. And that's just basically 10 or more appointments. And people understand that, and they're excited. Okay. So we talked about having a good background. We talked about there should be no reference to any type of bedroom when you're doing an interview. Okay. I'm talking about even careful with the type of curtains they're showing. You might have to just twist your camera into a corner part of the room. There should be no bed. There should be no dirty clothes, laundry bag. There should be none of that visible in your background, right? We talked about that. We talked about that confidence is key. Just like it is for a new rep to sell Cutco, that same confidence is really important in an interview, because they're going to feel that confidence and feel that vibe from you, that positive vibe that's going to get them excited about the position. You have to have the conviction that this is the best entry-level position. Okay. Yeah, there's other positions out there that are very experienced and pay a lot more, and pro football player, pro baseball, basketball player, soccer player, whatever. I'm saying the best entry-level position out there compared to whatever else they can do. Okay. A job that's not required any experience. I can't think of a higher powered position that doesn't require experience or a degree than this one, right? Than the Cutco sales rep position. So you have to have that conviction, and you got to expect they're going to be excited and have 100% show to training. We also talked about Vector Live and that not everyone comes to training. And we talked about, hey, if you're at 50% or higher, we're pretty pumped about that. And we're going to try to get you to 60%. And that's kind of like some of the top managers in the company are at 60% show to training. So you're like, wait a minute, Chris, if I hired 10 people, you're telling me 4 of them or 5 of them are just going to just disappear and not be there? And yep, the answer is yeah. And that is the same really anywhere. I was talking to one of the top managers, and he said my previous job was at Walgreens, and he was there for training. It was a circle, and they were going over all the policies of Walgreens. And and there was a couple people, like, so these are all the people that I hired, right? There's like 8 people in a circle, and the manager was kind of like, all right, guys, this is, you're going to be working at the Walgreens it was actually the Albany area, across the Albany area. And two people were like, hey, where's the bathroom at? And oh, it's right back there. Okay. So they get up, they put their notebook and pen down. Okay. And gone forever. Okay. Never came back from the bathroom. Okay. So, and he's like, and he also used to work at Coca-Cola, like I said, Walgreens. And he's like, every job, people don't show up. Okay. Every job has people. Now, I know some of you are like, that is so lame. I would never do that. Of course. Well, that's why you're here. That's why you're a leader, but not everybody's like that. Okay. So not everyone's a leader. So that's what I'm saying is that, to find a Drew, to find a Brian Hudson, to find a Josh Thayer, to find, a Case Koenig, you don't find them every day. They're kind of like needles in haystacks, and we just search for those needles. And we have some great programs, great advertising to get those top people. So, to be more specific, the higher the quality of the recruit, usually it is the tougher it is to recruit them. And so we do weigh that. I don't want to get into too much of the formulas or anything like that. I just want you to focus on, hey, can I get at least half to 60% come to training, fired up, right state of mind, and are ready to go? Okay. And if someone's really sharp, okay, so I take pride when I have like a hunter, church, from not Hunter, you too, not in this class, but I'm saying the hunter I hired was Olympian, and he had options. He was a bobsled Olympian, and he also a full-time fire. I mean, he's got a guy with options. He's a sharp guy. So I take pride in recruiting the sharpest, best people, because it's just like Case does with Sophia, just like I do with Drew, just like Josh does with Apollo, just like Brian with his people in TLA. So we take pride of having top people that recruit. Those are the people that we want on the team the most. Okay. And we talked about we're in the business of giving some people a shot, but not everybody. We don't want to waste someone's time, and we don't want to waste our time. And so that's why your manager has parameters on who to hire and who to put on a waiting list, and who to get a Google link for questions that they can fill out. And sometimes we call some of them back, and many of them we simply don't have time or room for. So, and that's just being respectful and making sure, we're giving someone a shot that can actually do something with it. All right. The bottom line is a rep needs to say, I can do this to most points in your interview. I understand this, I can do this, and I want to try this. Okay. More specifically, you want to talk about, we have different options of working remote and in person. The manager is cool. That's you. That means you doing the interview. The products are great, and that we have a video that's going to cover that, right? And I can see myself making money, having fun, and getting experience here. All right. That's where this is kind of like where we left off last class. We left off right about here. Okay. Never saying the word you. Remember I said that? Only say our representatives. You're going to hear that throughout. We will have a script for you at some point. I'm not a big fan of scripts. I don't like scripts because people use them the wrong way. They end up just being just reading it word for word and sounding like a robot on the interview. And what I'd rather give you is more of like I'll give you a script, but more like in an outline format. So there's a little bit of room for you to kind of say a few things in your own words, but as long as you have the most of the concepts, you'll be able to do that. Okay. All right. So, okay, cool. Let's go into the intro. Okay. So we're going to talk about the intro. And by the way, next Monday, the 18th, we're going to do our first life skill, and that's going to be dining etiquette. Now, why am I playing that on September 18th? Well, because 5 days later, we're having dinner with the top executives in the company, and it's really cool. I mean, it's some stuff that I didn't know when I was young. Yeah, I didn't know this stuff until I was like a DVM, and Jeff Bry taught me these things, a lot of these things. So just talking about like place setting and where the wine glass goes, where where the knife and there won't be wine, by the way, in Olean, but you know what I mean. Where the salad fork goes, where the dinner fork goes, where does the water, which one, left or right, whose water is whose, and all that stuff is all explained for you. It's a really cool video. It's nothing earth-shattering, but it's fun, and it's made by Jeff Bry in his dining room there. It's really cool. So that's going to start next week. We call those life skills. Okay. But getting back to vector management skills and leadership skills, let's talk about the intro to the interview. This sets the tone for the entire interview. If you were to pick any one of these things to nail, okay, to do well, I would say the intro, and probably tied for first is anything that happens to do with recommendations and pay, just kind of like the main part of the job, how we get paid and how the recommendations work. But I would say the intro is really, number one. So it sets the tone for the entire interview. And first thing that we have here is in Apex, and this is, again, all of you will get a Vector Live account, so you'll be able to access interviews and do interviews, is you're going to do a quick wave video. And there's different ways to do this, but I'm just telling you what I do. Quick wave video off, and then we have some questions for the applicants to fill out. Do you remember that in your interview? That's my question to you. Do you remember when there were some questions and then your manager popped in when you were done and said, hey, everybody, hello, my name, introduce themselves? Do you, maybe some of the stuff is coming back to you in your memory, but we have some intro questions that we are able to read as managers. We're able to see the answers to those. And what I always put in the chat is I just put this. Okay, depending on if it's I run a lot of morning interviews, so I always say good morning. If it was an afternoon interview, you would say good afternoon. I posted 2 questions. This is literally the questions for you. When you are done, I will start shortly or soon after. Okay, that's it. And then we give them 3 to 5 minutes, depending on when people finish. Okay, 5 minutes max. I will start without someone if they're taking too long on the questions. Okay, they're really quick. So whatever happens first, 5 minutes or everybody completes the 2 questions. Okay. And then you're going to get an actual interview recording dropped in the TLA probably next week sometime. So you'll be able to see all this in practice. But notice how it says, even though there's several people here, they can only see and hear you. They still think this is a one-on-one interview at this point. Okay. Let me I'm just going to grow this a little bit here. Okay. Can you guys see that? So they still think this is a one-on-one interview at this point. Okay. Now this is this is important. This is the first time they're going to hear from you. Again, they think it's just them and just one person and you at this point. And I pop back on the screen. Let me make myself spotlighted there. There we go. Okay. And I say, good morning. My name is Chris Hammond. I'm the division manager here of Upstate New York. You would, of course, would say, hey, I'm one of the managers here in the Upstate New York office. And you can say the Buffalo office or the Albany office, Syracuse office, whatever office you're representing. You're going to say one of the managers. You don't have to be specific. You don't have to say assistant. You don't have to say the leadership academy. They really don't know what that means. You can say, hey, I'm one of the managers here in the Syracuse office, or I say the Upstate New York office. And I'm going to be doing your interview today. There's actually a few of you here. You can only see and hear me. I can see all of you. But to save time, we do the first part as a group, a group interview with several people. And then the second part is going to be one-on-one, where we'll talk after individually. Okay. So again, you can only see and hear me. I can see all of you. You're all muted, so I can't hear you. Okay. Because at this point, some of them might have been like, hello, can you hear me? They may have said something like that and you can't hear them. So tell them that. You say, hey, you're all muted, so I can't hear you. But at the end, when you're individual with me in a private one-on-one video link, you'll be unmuted and we'll finish up the interview with some final questions that way in the privacy of your own one-on-one video conference room with me. Okay. So just so I don't have to repeat myself 5 times today, there's 5 of you here, and that's typical. I typically interview, 4 or 5 people at a time. Okay. Whatever number that it is, I'd say that number. Okay. If there's 7 people, I say it's typical for me to interview 5 to 7 people at a time. So I'd like to welcome. We have Brian, we have Drew, we have Hunter, we have Lexi. I'm just reading people off my screen here. We have Sophia, we have Linda, and we have Apollo. So welcome the 7 of you, and let's get started. Okay. So that is so they know exactly what's going on. They know that they had heard their name called. They're like, okay, cool. I'm a part of this group, and I can only see and hear him, and he's doing this to save time. And that is the first part of the interview. Okay. I don't, I no longer do this. There is an ability to share the screen, and I have, I stopped doing that probably at the start of this year, really. I just stopped doing that because we have this thing as managers we call the eyeball test. Okay, does someone pass the eyeball test? Okay, and I found a lot of people I interview don't pass that test. So I don't want that being shown to everyone. So I feel much better now that I don't have to I don't share my screen and people don't go, whoa, what was that I just saw? That looked like South Central LA right there. Bloods and the Crips, or whatever. So so that is the that is the start of the interview. Okay. Okay. Now, this is what's called the power intro. This is something I nicknamed the power intro. And I did this for a DVM meeting, in Vector East DVM meeting, and it kind of spread across the country there of having the importance of having a really cool summary. Okay. Kind of like a highlight reel. Think of it like a 3-minute highlight reel of the job. Okay. What if you were to give the best, 3 minutes of the position, that's what you're covering before you go into this video. Okay. Things you want to hit on is the guaranteed base pay, the flex schedules, remote, or different ways to do the presentation, and a great product. Okay. So again, what I say is after I go through it, I named the 7 people or 3 people in the interview. Welcome, Bree, Maximus, and Trista. Okay. So now that they know their name was called, they're like, okay, I'm in this interview of 3 people or whatever. I say, all right, let's get started. So the company started. So I'm going to give ready. It's going to be like a 3-minute like highlight reel of Cutco and Vector the past 75 years. Okay. So it's going to be like a 3-minute summary of how good, how good can you make the company sound in 3 minutes? Okay. So I say, hey, company you're applying with, by the way, it started back in 1949 in Olean, New York. Some of you know where that is. It's about an hour south of Buffalo. about an hour and a half south of me here in Rochester. Some of you are from, and I just named some towns in your territory, and you can just see like, hey, it's located right there in Southern New York. So we have, and I mentioned Northern Pennsylvania as well. I say, so all the workers there are New York workers and Northern Pennsylvania workers. Okay. And so, so we all get to say, not only is it US made, but it's pretty much a local company for all the people in the Empire division. So all the people that I work with, this is a local company to our customers, and it's within a minute's drive from many of our customers, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, whatever, 10 minutes sometimes away from our customers. So it's a upstate New York, Northern Pennsylvania based company. Okay. And I talk about that because we have a lot of reps, obviously, in Northern PA as well, right over the border there. So I kind of group them in. So that's great. So that everyone, and you look for head nods. Okay. You always want to look for the head nods. Okay. Yes. Josh put that in there. I had both. I had actually someone literally drinking a beer and smoking at the same time. Okay. So it was just kind of, one hand was the cigarette, one hand was the beer. Okay. Just kind of switching between the two, puffing. And that's one of the reasons I don't share screens anymore. You never know who's going to pop in your interview. So the great thing is we get to pick and choose who we're going to post and who we're going to hire. So that person would not be hired, right? The person who is double fisting there. So we're going to talk a little bit about the company. That took what, 15 seconds? I say Vector started in 1981. That I like to say a couple things that the video says, because when they hear it more than once, it's consistency. Okay, it just kind of registers like, okay, things are kind of lining up here and things are consistent. One thing you want to avoid is inconsistencies. Whenever someone senses an inconsistency, that's going to doubt everything you say. So when everything is like mapped out nicely and things are all 100% truthful and line up, obviously that's consistency. And so you want to make sure that whatever you say, and you can check with your manager, make sure you're not saying something that's inconsistent with what we do. Okay. So I say Vector started in 1981. That's part of the video that we play. That's coming up here in 3 minutes. Started in 1981. That's the company that you're officially applying with. And that is the marketing department of Cutco. So Cutco is kitchen cutlery, kitchen tools. We have outdoor accessories. We have hunting, fishing, barbecue, gardening, camping, anything food related. We have pots and pans. We have matching forks and spoons. We have kitchen gadgets, everything ranging from pizza cutters to ice cream scoops to vegetable peelers to wine openers and can openers. We have barbecue sets, gardening tools, anything that deals with cooking or eating food. Is what we make and what we sell. And there's approximately 100 different products in that. Okay. So you want to distinguish, we're not just the knife company. Okay. You want to make sure that you cover all of those things very quickly. And so they see, it's like, wow, there's a lot of stuff. I just, for someone who maybe knows that, they're like, wow, it's a lot more than just knives. Okay. So I go through all of that, list out those products, and that takes about 15 to 20 seconds. Okay. I say in 2010, I said we did our first virtual presentation, which opened the door for reps to really have business nationwide. And we've been growing tremendously since then. And there's opportunity for a rep to show someone in person, and then there's opportunity for someone to do a virtual presentation. I mentioned that. I say the pay is guaranteed. Again, this is just a summary. I said I'm going to explain this. I'm going to explain this to the applicants, right, in detail after the video. But I say real quick, we have a base pay that's guaranteed. If I met with 10 customers today and I don't sell a thing, I'm guaranteed $300. But my goal is to obviously do my best. And if I sold some things, I can make a lot more than the $30 pay rate. We pay every Friday, weekly, every Friday, direct deposit. I'll explain all that in a little bit when I cover the paychecks. You also will notice that our schedules are flexible. So we have some people on the team who are very busy. We have high school seniors. We have college students. We have some single moms on the team, right? Two or three kids, raising them by themselves. We have some people like that who are very busy and really require maybe, they get to pick days, evenings, weekends, and 5, 10, 15 hours a week. That's it. We have some people work only 5, 10, 15 hours a week, but we have other people working 40, 50 hours a week. Okay, we call those Cutco sales professionals. They're paying off their homes and mortgages and stuff like that. And they work sometimes 40, 50 hours a week. Not because we made them, not because we made them, but because the work is available and that's what they wanted to do. Okay, so we have days, evenings, weekends they can pick for that. Very flexible. You'll see that when I cover the schedules. But before I do that, I'm going to turn it over to Marie. Marie is someone I utilize. I actually play some of her videos in my training class. She was one of our top people that Mike worked, our management worked with for training. And we asked her to make a quick 6.5-minute video, kind of summarizing the products and the job. Okay. And then when that's done, I will come back and start to wrap things up, start to finish up the interview. So that is my 3 to 4 minute stump speech, if you will, power intro, I call it. Okay. Summary, whatever you want to call it. And that's very important because it gets them excited about what's to come. We had a thing in the past where a lot of people would drop out during the video, like they would just kind of bounce out of the interview. Okay, kind of like those two guys who just bounced, at the Walgreens thing. Okay, so and really, that really shouldn't happen this early in the game, because that manager obviously didn't have a good power intro that got them, excited to learn more about the pay, the training, right, the products and stuff like that. Okay, so you should have really people stick with you through most of the interview. It's impossible to have. You're always going to have some people who are just like, hey, this isn't for me, and everyone has those people. But I'm saying it shouldn't be a lot. It really shouldn't happen during the video. Okay, rarely should happen, only rarely during the video. Okay, so there's nothing that you said that was scary or out of the ordinary. It just sounds, oh, cool. This is a unique, fun opportunity. So that's what they're thinking throughout the video. Okay. I don't think I need to play the video, guys, but that's going to be a 6.5-minute summary of the job. Just think back to, you'll be seeing the video a lot when you start to run interviews. Okay. You'll be seeing them all the time. I stay there. What I do during the video. Okay. So you have some activities you need to do during the video. Okay. So during the video, you're going to go and read everyone's answers to the first questions. That's number one. Okay. You're going to go and look where from, high school, college. You're gonna browse this information from their application, from their profile page. Okay. Again, it's right on Vector Live. It's going to be right up as one of the tabs. And you can have your video on or off at this point. I don't think some people are adamant about having it on at this point. I think I'm okay either way, but just you're going to be on mute. You're going to be muted. If you are on video still, you're going to be muted. I think it's fine to have it on. Just look busy. Just kind of look like you're looking at the screen. What you're really looking at though is you're switching tabs to Vector Live and reading everybody's profile. Okay. It looks like you're just watching the video, which is cool, which is great. Shows you're paying attention. And what you're really doing in that 6.5 minutes that you have while they're watching it is making an order, a queue, if you will. And let's see if I can show you. I do have, let's see if I can show you. I just take a sheet of paper. And when I'm done, I just, oh yeah, I got my morning interviews here. Okay. There's 4 people. Okay. And I made the order. I don't know if you guys can see this. Emily was first, Ryan, Janelle, and Ruben did not make it. Okay. Did not pass really any of the tests, eyeball test, area test, school test. It was just not someone that would be able to sell Cutco. And so that was, so you see that? So I just wrote down, Emily, I was looking and I have, the information, and I have where they're from in high school, and I have their questions, and that's what you can build rapport on, is their information. That's where you can ask questions. Remember, building rapport is just asking the right questions. Okay. So we're going to actually teach you the post in Olean and there will be a follow-up on the Zoom. So I know a couple people are thousands of miles away from Olean at that point. And you know, not everyone is going to be able to fly into Olean for those farther away people, but most you know, the people who are there will get a copy of it, and those who will not will just put it in the WhatsApp. Okay, the post. I'm going to teach that early, because sometimes you post before you do the whole interview. You can help a manager out, and that's something you can learn right away, which is the post. Okay. So during this, okay, we're going to put in here, check that. Actually, I want to make sure I keep this on the same page. You check everyone's. Okay. So this is where you're going to do that. All right, I'm gonna take a pause here, and we're going to do a little takeaway. Okay. When I get to the meat and potatoes of the interview, which is the describing part, as we start to hit on that next week, you're going to really see me break down the specifics of the job. Okay. And you're going to see me talk about training. Okay. How the training works. We're going to talk about practice presentations. Okay. Practice presentations is starting with people, you know, you got to be very clear and transparent about all the programs, the sales programs that we have. Okay. So no one comes into training blindsided and like, wait, what? Okay. We want to make sure there's no program questions when they come into training. What's a program question? So Bo's the manager. Let's say Bo's the trainer. Okay. And I come in, I say, hey, Bo, when are you going to give me like the list of leads? You know, when are you going to give me the list of names and numbers for me to call? Okay. Bo's going to go, uh-oh, I messed up that interview. Okay. He's going to be like, there is no list. You start with people that you know, and it goes from there. Okay. But, you know, at that point, it's too late. That person is pretty much already, you know, like, oh, I misunderstood. Okay. Good chance of losing people like that, because again, inconsistency from what they thought. So your goal is to be crystal clear of the sales program and the pay in your interview. Those are the two big ones, right? That people care most about is, how am I going to sell this stuff and how am I going to get paid? So if you can nail those two, right, with the intro, that's like 90% of the interview. Okay. So, and then there's a few obviously little particulars that we want to nail as well, like the post at the end, and thanking them and sending them on their way with congratulations and things like that. Okay. But you're going to notice, you know, next week when I cover the meat and potatoes, you know, you notice I'm going to be very clear, very specific on things when I'm doing that. Okay. All right. So, put in the chat what your favorite nugget was, your favorite item of learning that you want to make sure you do when you run your first interview, whether it be this month or next month. Remember, I said by April 6th, all of you will have the tools to run an interview, which is kind of cool. And by the way, even if someone doesn't become a manager, why would you want to have interview skills? Well, because if you ever own a business, if you ever want to work with more than one person, if you ever want to run an organization besides just yourself, okay, if you ever plan on not being alone for the rest of your life, you need to know how to bring people onto your vision, bring people onto your team. Okay. Bring people onto, okay. Dating is really just one big interview. Okay. So you're interviewing that person, right? You're interviewing that candidate for a potential marriage, right? You know, I always dated to see if I was going to marry this person. Okay. I just was like, it was an interview, and they were doing the same to me. They were doing the same to me. And so, so it's good to learn these verbal and nonverbal cues, because that's life. And like I said, many of you, and there's people, by the way, right now I can see on Facebook and LinkedIn, some very top organizational leaders in the country. And you see these on the Changing Lives, Selling Knives podcast. Okay. And many of them successful and have a team of 50, 100 people. Guess where they learned it from? They learned how to interview here. Okay. So they learned how to grow their team here. So that's why we say these are skills for life, because yeah, you get to use them and apply them right away in Vector. And but like I said, for those people who don't stay around Vector forever, like me, there's other, top careers out there that are going to require the same skills. Okay. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Couple things. Yeah, Drew. Let me see. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Engaging and exciting introduction, Katie. Good. Looking professional, Bo. Yes, look professional. I never have anything less than a button down. Okay. Minimum a button down. You could wear. You don't need a tie, guys, but many people feel more professional or feel a little bit more confident in a tie. I don't need a tie for me personally, but if you're younger and you feel like that's going to kind of make me look a little bit higher up, give me a little bit of an edge, then by all means pop on a tie, and then similar attire for the females. Okay. Get through the interview. Yeah. Be clear, concise, and consistent. Trista, good. I'm just reading through these, making sure to be crystal clear and have them know exactly what they're going into. Yes. Your little group is going to be your best candidate. Another little nugget I enjoyed was from training within that earlier in the week. Next one. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a nugget for training. We say when someone doesn't schedule an appointment on the phone during phone jam, hey, some will, some won't. So what? On to the next one. You can take that same attitude in your interview. Some people, some sharp people, some people you want. You're maybe your number one person. Emily and Ryan were my top two in that class. And what if Ryan said at the end, "Hey, appreciate your time, but this is not for me." That sometimes happens. That's the same approach. There's going to be so many parallels. I told you last week, so many parallels between the sales rep position and the management position that you could just draw the same conclusion, either one. Okay. Oh, okay. No problem. Hey, Ryan, appreciate your time, and but he didn't say that, by the way. It's very rare that I get that, but even I still get that. So if I were to get that, it's just like, oh, no problem, man. Have a great rest of the year, and nice meeting you. Okay. And then boom, I'm putting all my focus into the next one, Janelle. Okay. Janelle's going to be Ryan's forgotten, and moving on and pouring my energy into Janelle. Many different endeavors. Yes, Josh, Timmy. Have all the questions answered before make sure they have all the questions answered before the training. That is really good. The less confusion, or hopefully no confusion, the less questions they have before training, the higher likely they'll come in more excited. Hunter Gibbs likes the power intro, the highlight reel of the job, to get them excited to hear more. Because remember, what the highlight reel is just like the very best that I said I was going to explain in detail after the video. So that's why I don't have people drop out during the video, is because they're like, ooh, I really want to hear more about that $30 pay rate plus earning more. He said you can earn more than $30. There's people who work 5-10 hours a week, and there's people who work 40-50 hours a week. I want to hear more about like the flexible hours and which ones I can do. Okay. So it's just kind of like a little teaser that I put out there, and I say, I'm going to cover that in detail after the video. And so people stick around to hear that. So Hunter, good. That's my favorite as well. You always give people a chance to try, but sometimes there's just people who don't meet the criteria. Okay. Nothing against them. Listen, there's a lot of people come in and want to test drive the cars. And the salespeople say, hey, I need a copy of your license. Okay. And I'm sorry, I left it at home. They often get that. I left it at home. Yeah, I know a couple of people who, it's a couple of friends of mine who sell cars, and they tell me some funny stories. No, I actually own a Ferrari as well, someone said. And so I can drive this car. Oh, cool. Awesome. Do you have like the new one, like the F-150? Yeah, I have the F-150. There is no F-150. That's a truck. So I'm sorry. You need to go get your license. And like, they just tell me stories of people who like try to do a test drive, and they're not even qualified. They're like 16, and they're like, listen, I got to make a copy of your license. Go back and get it. Okay. And they don't have one. So they, it's similar to that, is that we give people a shot, but some people we just can't give a shot. Okay. Now that's an example of someone who's too young. In this case, that happens with us too. If someone's 17 and not graduated from high school yet, we legit legally can't hire them. So we just say, hey, listen, great candidate, Drew, you're a great candidate. Hey, on your 18th birthday, okay, or when you graduate, whatever comes first, we're giving you a call. Yeah, we really like what we see, and you have someone that you like, but that's an easy one. But I'm saying someone that is like, doesn't meet the manager's criteria, your manager's criteria, it's okay. They can always fill out the what we call a waiting list. It's a Google Doc that and by the way, I read these answers. The people who are initially screened out, I read them. If I'm like blown away and I see I'm like, wow, this person, I did not know they accomplished all these things, because the Google Doc that we send them to is pretty detailed. They get to really talk about their past accomplishments and future goals. If we're really impressed with their past accomplishments and future goals, then, we can still give them a shot. So nothing gets, we want to minimize anything falling through the cracks. That was Bree. Be clear on the important information that people will want to know. Pay and how they're going to sell the product, sales position. Okay, Sophia also like the intro. Great. Oh, this is great. If you believed in Santa Claus for 7 years, and then you can believe in yourself for 90 minutes. I like that. That is awesome. You guys see that from Case Koenig? If you believed in Santa Claus for 7 years, you can believe in yourself for 90 minutes. And my manager, her name is Dina Blanti. She told me the same thing. She's like, hey, your first couple interviews, I'm not going to watch. She's like, listen, I don't care what you say. Just sound confident. That's what she told me. She's like, you're not going to have the words perfect. I don't care, exactly the order and the words that you say. Just sound confident. Just sound like you mean it. That was her tip. That was her one tip for me when I was about to run my first interview. She said, I'm going to leave. I'm going to get a coffee, because I know you're going to be nervous if I'm going to be in the room watching you. So I'm going to leave. Don't worry about what you're saying. Just sound confident. Okay. That was her very first tip. Okay. And then after that, I was like, okay, let's make sure you're saying the right words. People's skills and interacting with different personalities. Yeah. Cutco, Randy. Yeah. Martha, be clear about what you want from them. Yeah. Interviews is a great, again, for doing interviews is have a great attitude. Maximus, yes. My nugget for doing interviews is have a great attitude. Good. Same thing with running an interview, doing sales presentation, believe in yourself. Okay. Remind them that this is the best entry-level position being offered anywhere, especially the pay. Good. I got a demo that I have to get to short. Okay. Awesome. All right, guys. Look the part, act the part, be the part. Like I said, these can go up to 6:15, but we're going to shoot to end by 6. And guess what? 6:02. I missed it by 2 minutes. We are done. Great job, guys. Great session today. Remember, you have to set up make sure you're part of the WhatsApp group that Brian Hudson set up for everyone, and Josh and everyone is adding people to that. And you got the link in the chat. Make sure you do the first 15 minutes. That's your assignment by next Monday. 15 minutes. Learners on the Vector Advantage. Okay. And then you can start diving into tomorrow. You can start diving into the interview learning path. Okay. There's little mini courses that you can get through. You can just binge the whole thing if you wanted to, or you can just do 5 to 7 minutes at a time. It's really cool. You get to kind of go at your own pace. Okay. And then we'll set like a far enough deadline where it's like very minimal work. Okay. It's just like, you know, half hour a week or 45 minutes in a week. Okay. And from starting, you know, next week. So try to get the first half hour, 45 minutes by Olean. And again, make sure that you are, make sure you're all signed up. Guys, this is a killer 2 nights at a resort. This is like almost half the price of SC2. This is only $199. And it includes both nights at the Holiday Valley Resort, which is a ski resort. And it has an awesome hot tub that's open year round, outdoor hot tub, outdoor pool and hot tub year round. Wait a minute. It's New York, wintertime when it's like snowing. Yes, they have an outdoor heated pool and hot tub right on the deck there for the skiers in the wintertime, year round. When's the last time you've seen an outdoor pool year round, open year round in New York? Okay, it doesn't happen. Except at this place. So that's pretty cool. So if you want to bring your bathing suit, you can. For Friday night or Saturday after you know, hot tub there. And then we have so all meals, and then you have that special dinner as well. So it's again another $500-600 value for $199. Okay, which is really a steal, which is cool. All right, guys. If you have any questions, just message me directly. I'll stay on here, or you can stay after. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next Monday. Bye-bye. Make sure you hop on Vector Advantage.